Hey, welcome to another video. Today I would like to talk to you about 5 mistakes I personally made as a landscape photographer at varying stages throughout my career in the hope that I can help you avoid them yourself. Number 1, don't use your first shot. And by that I mean you can take a first shot and it might be fantastic, and by all means keep that shot, but don't dismiss other compositions because you think they won't work. There's been quite a few times where I have taken a shot and thought it was an absolutely fantastic shot, it was going to work out perfectly when I'm viewing it on the screen. When I get it home, start editing the shot, realise looking on the big screen, it doesn't work for whatever reason, either the composition's wrong or the lighting's wrong, and it's ended up in the bin. Likewise, there's been places I've been to where I've looked at compositions thinking, oh, that's probably not going to work, but I've took it anyway, and then I've got back and thought, well, actually this is a really good shot, and I've kept it, and it's turned out to be a very good shot. A prime example of this is Corfe Castle. If you head to Corfe Castle to shoot sunrise, so you are on the west hill generally and the castle, and then the east hill behind you, there's 5 or 6 well-known spots where people tend to shoot. The first time I went there, I just headed straight up to the top of the hill, took what I thought was the best shot, nice and wide, so I get everything in, but didn't actually like it when I got back to editing it. The second time I went there, I shot further down the hill and realised that actually it works really well. It gives a better scene, you're not looking down on the castle so much in my personal opinion, and I liked it. So don't dismiss a location thinking it won't work, take loads of shots. It's only digital, it doesn't matter. If you mess it up, just delete it. It's not like it's going to cost you anything except your time. Number 2, don't get disheartened. But you will, everybody does. It may be 6 months down the line, it may be a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, but at some point in time you'll lose your mojo, you'll think all your shots suck, everyone else is such a better photographer than you, and you'll want to give it up, throw your camera in the bin. Don't do it. What you need to realise is everybody puts their best shots online, on their websites, in print. Nobody puts the stuff they hate. I've been to locations and shot 200 shots and used 1. I've been to locations where I've shot 200 shots and used none. I've been to Corfe Castle 4 times and I've never actually got a shot there that I'm happy to actually let anybody see. Everybody uses their best shots, so you'll look at someone's work and think, oh my god, they're fantastic, why can't I take shots like them? What you don't see is all the pictures they throw in the bin because it's taken them that many attempts to get it. Nobody is perfect. Don't get disheartened, please. Just keep practicing. You'll get there in the end, I promise you. Everybody does. Number 3, research your location. I have been to locations where I have looked it up on Google and thought, oh yeah, that's nice, there's plenty of parking there, I can park there and I'll just wander down here, get there for when I want to shoot. I've got there, realised it's all double yellow lines, or the car park that I was going to park in is actually closed 2 years ago because I didn't research it properly, and I've got nowhere to park. The sun's rising in an hour, I'm buggered. A good example of this is Osey Beach Huts in Essex. I investigated that quite extensively and there isn't actually anywhere to park within a close-ish distance. All the roads have got lines on, so you can't park on them. Right next to the beach huts is a caravan park with a barrier, so you can't park there. And so eventually after doing some Googling, I found out that about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile down the road, there's a little side road with a couple of little lay-bys on it, and you can quite happily park in there, walk down the road, cut through the edge of a building site, and voila, you're at your location. I once went to shoot a shipwreck at Fornham, and I walked up and down the marshes for probably an hour looking for this boat. Couldn't find it, gave up, and that's because it wasn't actually there. So the shot I had seen that somebody had taken, or a few people had taken, I thought, oh yeah, I could work with that, I could do a little composition on that. It wasn't actually even there anymore because the shots they took were 4, 5, 6 years old. Had I done a little bit more investigating at the time, checked out people's websites, checked out the dates, checked out Google Maps, I would have probably realised that it wasn't there anymore. But you live and learn. Another example of this is parking. I've been to locations where I've had to pay for parking. I knew I had to pay for parking, so I had some change, but I've turned up at the location and I've realised that the parking has now changed and it's online payment only via the app. I don't have the app and I don't have any Wi-Fi, so I can't get it. Stuck. So I've ended up having to drive another 10 miles, 5 miles down the road till I can get some signal to download the app and then go back to my desired location where I can eventually shoot it. Always check the weather and always check the tide times if you're going to shoot tides. I've seen quite a few photos from people where they've gone to locations to shoot things that are best shot at high tide or indeed sometimes low tide. They haven't researched the tide and it's half in and out. The composition doesn't quite work right and they've got sort of a half mediocre shot, whereas if they had actually checked the tide times then they would have, in my opinion, got a much better shot. And sometimes these people have indeed said, oh, I forgot to check the tide, or I didn't think to check the tide. So always check the tide times, and indeed if you're shooting sunrise or sunset, check and make sure the tide coincides with the sunrise or sunset time. Again, I've been guilty of this because I went to a location where I checked and the sunset matched perfectly with the high tide, but I wasn't actually checking the right day, so I was actually 2 hours out. So there's me starting to get dark thinking tide's not very high, and then I checked the app again and realised I'd actually buggered it up and I was checking it for about a week in advance. So always do your research when you're heading to a location. Tip number 4, arrive early and stay late. This one's for you, Mr. Parker. If you're going to a location and the sun is rising at 5 o'clock in the morning, I will generally try to plan to be there an hour before sunrise. You get some amazing light sometimes and you could completely lose the sunrise. It could be cloudy, it could be overcast 10 miles out at sea, so your sunrise is absolutely awful, but you've managed to get some good shots because you got there an hour early, so you've got some good blue hour shots. Plus you never know, you might get stuck in traffic, you might need to stop for fuel, you might not be able to find a memory card, it might take you longer to find some parking. So all these things can actually ruin a shot, and for the sake of getting out of bed half an hour early rather than just getting early, missing the shot, you've travelled 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever it is to get somewhere, and you've actually missed the shot because you didn't bother to get out of bed half an hour earlier than you did get out of bed. So always arrive early, and likewise staying late. I've seen sunset on places and there's been 5 or 6 photographers there and they've all packed up their gear and off they've all gone the instant the sun's headed over the horizon. Sometimes that's the best time you can get some of the best shots. If the clouds are in the right height, you can get the sun will bounce off the clouds and light up the sky like you've never seen with some fantastic purples and oranges, and you can get some amazing shots that actually far surpass what you thought you would get with the sunset in the first place. So always stay that little bit later. It's not going to cost you anything, it's at a little bit of time, and if you're anything like me, you're perfectly happy to chill there anyway. So arrive early, stay late. Tip number 5, and arguably the most important, shoot what you want to shoot. When I started out in landscape photography, I would look up famous locations, see people's shots of them, and literally, for want of a better word, copy them. I would turn up, I wouldn't think about different compositions, I just saw their shots and thought they were amazing, copied them, got home, took the same shot. It didn't, at the end of the day, it didn't make me happy. I didn't feel like I'd achieved anything. All I'd in effect done was go along and took the same photo that someone else has done, and then chances are they've probably took the same photo that someone else has done before then. Don't get me wrong, some locations lend themselves to particular compositions, so by all means get that composition, but you know, think outside the box. Try shooting a bit lower, shoot low to the ground sometimes, shoot higher up, shoot further round, shoot a different time of day, shoot in different weather, shoot with a different lens. There's loads of variations you can do, but at the end of the day, you're doing photography for you. You want to make yourself happy. So shoot what you want to shoot. I go out and if I don't get a shot sometimes, I'm not even bothered. I've had a nice day out, I've gone for a nice hike, and it's made me happy. I've attempted to do what I wanted to do, and at the end of the day, the only person I'm in competition with is myself. So don't feel like you have to fit in, don't feel like you have to shoot certain compositions, and don't worry about what people think of your work. If you like the picture you've taken, then that's fine. You're happy with it. Don't let people put you down by moaning about things. By all means, take on some criticism if it's constructive. It may help you achieve better photos and progress as a photographer. But don't let people's harsh words put you off. If they don't like your pictures, then that's up to them. If you like them, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So make yourself happy, shoot what you want to shoot. Right, that's it for me. Those are the 5 mistakes, or 5 of the mistakes that I made as a landscape photographer in various stages throughout my career. So anyway, if you like my channel, you like my videos, please subscribe, and I shall be uploading a new video very soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.